I like this the best, the ashes.
Yeah.
Very relaxing, yeah.
So now you can start talking. Where we be going?
Okay, we are going to the museum of Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah.
in nearby downtown Las Vegas. We are very close, only 1 mile from there.
Yes.
Making left turn on Martin Luther King Boulevard. And the museum is nearby, about 300 yards from Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf tennis training center for kids.
Yes.
They have this. They're well known.
Okay.
They live in Las Vegas, both of them. Steffi Graf is German.
Yes.
And Andre Agassi is American tennis player.
Okay.
This museum is just as one house.
Yeah.
It's very old. It's, I guess, since the 1960s. They will give us a detailed information, everything when we get there.
Good.
Exactly what year was it, and built and everything.
Turn right into West Washington Avenue.
So, and the music you will hear also. Magarb, from Magarb, Yeah, ashes on the snow, right?
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Andre Agassi, right here.
And it's here.
That's the training center. Yeah. You missed the sign, but it was too quick. Yeah.
Have to go again.
We go back here.
Right here. Yeah. Okay.
Agassi, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Not that big.
No, not that big. Maybe they have inside something too.
Yeah.
And now comes the F. Very soon comes the F Street. Not this one, but the next one. This is a poor area of Las Vegas for poor people.
Yes.
As you see, the housing is not that fancy.
J, we have J Street.
Yeah.
Prepare to turn left.
They are waiting for us. The lady told me on the phone that Singer Doctor we can make film.
Yeah.
We can film everything.
Very good.
And we can put on YouTube.
Yes, that's nice.
Okay. Next, after this one, next. One more.
Okay. So this show Las Vegas. That I can see. We're still in Las Vegas. H Street. Mrs. H Street. That's a church.
Next one is F.
I missed the church.
This one here.
See? Oh, that's down.
Now
So.
turn left.
Now we're turning left into F Street and we are basically here. Museum.
You will reach your
What's
destination
on the left?
in 300 feet. Your destination is on the left.
That's the house. That's the museum. They're waiting for us already.
Okay. Good.
I turn around here and park.
Yeah, one time turn around.
You have reached
Yeah.
your
I go
destination.
further slowly. So
Your
Yes.
destination is on the left.
Just a moment. So you can film everything.
Yeah.
Very
So I
slow.
can open here.
Yeah, somebody's behind me. I let him go. Now
Okay.
I'm turning around.
Yes.
There is not much here to see. Old houses, old dogs, and old cars.
Okay. People are coming out now. Already.
Another tour was here before us. They look like hippie campers.
Yes. Okay.
I guess that's the lady with the paper waiting for us.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Can
Thank
we park here?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You
And
take
then
them
meet
up.
me at the banner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't want to run
Meet.
the dog over. Just a moment.
Yes. Okay.
There's a small dog here.
Artist as well. Have to get out. Meet her by the banner. He said. Yes.
Yeah, just stop the park here.
Yeah.
You can go now.
But the window, you have to get up. Okay. Okay, the book, you know, don't forget my book. Okay. At the banner. So, Jerry, you have then to film.
Yes, yes.
Don't forget. I just go here. Adam Street. We're here. Okay. Yes, you have my book. So, yes, Vegas. Okay. And Jerry, you have to take this over.
This is Singer Dr. B.
Yeah,
Hello.
Please,
Hello, I'm
take it.
Katherine.
Hi, I'm Singer Dr. B from
Yes.
Austria.
From Austria.
Yes, from Vienna.
German speaking, yeah.
My, but you speak such good English.
Yeah, I'm often here, you know, in Vegas. Even my aunt. I was a child already here.
Really? In Las Vegas?
Las Vegas, yes.
Okay.
1963 I was here. My aunt was one of the biggest motel owner on the street.
Really? Which
Yeah.
one?
The Desert Star Motel.
The Desert Star.
No,
How many
17 of them.
17 she had
17.
on the
Oh
street, you know.
Yes,
In the 60s.
yes.
Hacienda, yeah. No, in the
Oh.
60s, 70s, and I think still in the 80s.
But not in the
No,
50s
it's
and 40s.
City. No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
no.
We have one more person who's going to join us on the tour.
That's
and
fine,
I usually
yeah.
start the tour here
Okay.
because I want to point out the context of which
Sure,
we're sitting
sure,
here.
yeah.
You see where it says Historic West Side. But let me just grab the man because he's in his
Yes,
van.
yes.
Yeah.
So before I start, and then we'll go through it.
Yes.
Tell him to come.
And you be glad?
Hope you can tell Ivan to start. Come now, Ivan. Ivan, we're starting now.
We're making a YouTube video. You'll be on the YouTube. It's okay.
Yeah,
You'll be famous.
Really?
Yes, you'll be famous. Serious.
Give you then a present here.
And we have
Inside
present
here.
for you.
Oh
What
my
you give
goodness.
from me, you know, that you get them later, I give you them,
Oh
you know.
my goodness.
That's
Okay, so
Thanksgiving
this gentleman is
dinner.
going to be
Hi,
on the.
hi.
He's been inside
How are you?
already, but
Yeah.
he hasn't had the tour.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're visiting here from Austria.
Oh, nice.
I'm here
Yes.
from Austria, you know.
Very good.
And I'm make some also promotion for a CD. We can go in.
Uh-huh.
I can explain you later.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
good.
Well, let's. I'll do the tour
Yeah.
from
Oh,
here, and
that's
then
right.
we'll.
Let me
Yeah.
take the
From
sign. Yeah,
outside.
there is a sign.
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
going to start here.
Yeah,
I
just-
want you to see the sign that says
The
Historic
sign.
West Side.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's
very
have
And
it.
to point out that that was the natural boundary between the black and white community up until 1960.
Yeah.
If you
You're
were
talking
African American or black,
Okay.
you could not go on that side of the road unless you had a special card.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
What, 1960?
Up until 1960.
Yes.
You had a
So
special.
black people were restricted to this area
Wow.
and this area only up until that time. But there was only 30 years of that, from about 1930 to 1960. Because prior to 1930, everyone lived all over the valley.
Yeah.
But they were pushed to this area right around when gaming became
Yeah.
legal. Okay. So I want to bring you over to this marker now.
Yes.
So what this marker talks about is this Pioneer Trail.
Mm-hmm.
So the government set out on an initiative to figure out what was historic in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So they approached it by identifying the earliest gathering places in the valley. So they were surprised to find that there were people in the valley more than 10,000 years ago. Well, I think they say 8,000 years ago at the Springs Preserve.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on Valley View and Alta. So the 16 spots that they identified wind themselves through this historic west side, which is where we are now.
Yeah.
And they were amazed to find that most of Las Vegas' history is here. So they abandoned the project. It wasn't where they thought it would go.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is part of the old Spanish Trail.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're number 8 on the trail, Harrison Boarding House. And you see the sign says it was built in 1933. But clearly there are people who know that this house was not here until 1942. So if the architect says it was built in 33, but the people say it wasn't here until 1942, they resolved it by saying it was one of the homes that was moved across the railroad track when everyone was pushed over. That's the only way they can reconcile that, because they did move a lot of homes because they pushed the people out and they had to bring their homes with them. Okay, so we can go inside and then learn the rest of this history. How's that sound?
Yes, very good. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Because she's the only one who knows it.
Yeah.
So sounds good to us.
That's good to know. Okay, so this is what's left of the original African American neighborhood. And there seems to be a real effort to destroy it. There were 4 homes on this street 2 years ago. So they've all been burned down one by one.
Yeah.
Are they planning to rebuild or just get rid of them?
We just don't know who the they are.
Oh, but somebody's doing something.
But it's not us.
It's not you guys.
So we're going to have to do something ourselves. So we formed this community development corporation. We're trying to figure out how to do neighborhood revitalization. It's a whole different conversation. Okay, so you can see this is the Harrison House. And in 1942, I'm sorry, we imagine that it was only to here, according to our research. So in 1942, the house would look pretty much like that one, a one-bedroom bungalow. So Mrs. Harrison added a lot of different rooms on, and we also understand that the house next door was part of Harrison House at one time. So our goal is to bring it all back under one ownership and tell Black history.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we're going to go inside this way.
Okay.
Just because of rocks and all that. And we're slowly renovating where we can use the building. Because when we first got it, it was uninhabitable.
Jerry,
I guess, huh?
to look, but
There's a trail. This is the
Can you probably flashlight?
the 7 or the 18 or whatever trail.
Well, this is a different trail. This is the City of Las Vegas trail map, but it does have a list of historic places here. And so we're going to open this map up. You can come on in. And I will point out
Dark, yeah. Okay. Okay.
some other spots. These are the spots.
Yes, just a
So
moment.
you'll see that Harrison House is on the trail.
Oh, it's on the trail.
Yes, but it's a different trail.
It's on the lights.
Okay, so what we do at Harrison House now
Good.
is two things. We dispel the theory of creation because we've been told that we came from monkeys and that puts us on a lower human level. So that's one thing we have to dispel here. The second thing is why our neighborhood is in the condition that it's in. And that's not completely our fault. And the third thing is we want to help people deal with race relations in the future because America's in a crisis. And through our training from Reverend Moon, I got my understanding of racism through Reverend Moon. I show other Black people how to overcome resentment and learn to forgive so we can move on. So that's my role.
Wow.
Okay, Jerry.
So a lot of Black people have challenges because we don't know where we came from. So we have to open up the book of Genesis and show them the Ethiopians. And then we can go online and show them the Ethiopians today and say, this is your people. This is from where you originated, because they don't know.
Huh.
We don't know that. Okay. So, like I said, the Universal Peace Federation was very instrumental in helping us to restore another historic landmark that we've been having a lot of challenges with the government. It's called the Moulin Rouge. It was the first integrated hotel and casino in the United States. And it opened in 1955 to a lot of fanfare. It had the best entertainment in the world.
Really?
At the time, it was a Parisian show. The people in Paris came over to help Blacks in America. So they brought this wonderful show into Las Vegas in 1955, 5 years before Blacks and Whites were allowed to even mingle in public. So this wonderful show came in. It opened with the Platters. It had Hines and Dad, the Royal Master Trio. But after 4 months, the government shut it down. Okay, you can see this Moulin Rouge on the cover of Life magazine the month after it opened.
And why did it get closed? Because of the can-can?
Because at that time, it was illegal for Blacks and Whites to be together in Las Vegas.
Oh.
So let me open and I'll show you.
Then I take over.
Yeah.
So this
I think you do a better job.
This is the article that came out in 1955 after only 1 month of the hotel's opening. You should know what page it's on. And they showed two hotels open that same weekend. The Dunes and the Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
And so they
I've been in the tunes.
Okay, so this
As a
was
child.
one of the acts in the Moulin Rouge show. So the first time you can see this much skin.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Because the Moulin Rouge was known for that, for all the skin.
Right, and on Black women on stage. So this was a first for Las Vegas. So the show, it was a fabulous place. The costumes, the dancers, these feathers came from exotic chickens, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exotic birds from around
Exotic,
the world.
yes, But the show was shut down. So this was the night at the Dunes Hotel, and this was the night at the Moulin Rouge.
Oh,
So the
okay.
Moulin Rouge had all the Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of Las Vegas just had regular people. So
Oh.
everyone came to the Moulin Rouge because of the star status and all the Hollywood people,
I see.
and drained these casinos of people. Moulin Rouge had to open up a third show to accommodate all of its guests.
Wow.
These guys started losing money. So they stopped their suppliers from supplying them. They just forced them to shut. And then the sheriff came in 4 months and just finally just said, enough of this.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
going to shut this down. So the Dunes took the Moulin Rouge show.
Oh, so they moved it over.
They moved it over to the
Good.
Dunes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now,
The Moulin Rouge was the Cirque du Soleil of today.
yes. Okay, so now we move over
So-
to the living room of the original house.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and I
Yes.
have a video if you'd like to sit down. It's 4 minutes long.
Yes.
that I
Yes.
can show you.
So you mean Sammy Davis was here
Yeah.
in this room?
This is where he lived.
Yes.
In this.
In this house, yeah. So it's gonna start. We'll have a seat.
Yes.
Yes.
We just had a little
Go ahead.
party
can
here,
get
so
it
we
over.
I just,
I can sit here.
I need,
our next door
Ada.
neighbor turned 91 today,
Oh,
so
okay.
we just had a little celebration.
mm-hmm.
Would you like coffee, juice, water? We got 4 minutes of sitting in one spot.
That's nothing.
So,
Okay, it's gonna start over at a special. You know when you see that the thing go like this. Wait. Because if you touch it wrong, you'll never get it back on again. So let me do it. Okay. So
Yeah.
while that's getting ready, I'll turn this way so I can see it. I told you that this was the living room. If you had come in
Yes.
the house in 1942, you would have come through that middle door. The sitting room on one side and the living room on the other side. Because, you know, in 1940, you didn't come into a person's living room until you got to know them, right? You would come into the sitting room, they would debrief you, and then bring you into to the living room. Oh, did it start? So the thing's got to roll. It'll be okay. When I saw it, okay, so she keeps coming up, and I thought I was in a different spot. I don't know how to stop it and start it because I don't have remote control. So I have to wait.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's okay.
We're
It's
not
good
going
even
any
for me to film, you know.
Wait for the beginning of it. And this story will answer a lot of the questions that you have.
So when the house began to allow them to come and can stay here, about how many bedrooms were available?
Only
Well,
just two.
like I said, the house next door was part of it. There's another cottage out back where I live. So there were 3 separate houses on site plus the main house, which has 3 bedrooms. And I read one night that it was so busy that Miss Harrison had to sleep in the bathtub.
Oh my goodness.
Because she also handled the divorce, people coming in seeking divorces, people coming in. Okay, it's gonna start. I don't want to say too much because it's all in the film. So as soon as that black thing rolls around in the middle, it'll be time for me to push the volume. There.
It is Black History Month, and a link to Las Vegas's African American hidden history is on the Federal Register of Historic Places.
The Harrison House in historic West Las Vegas housed our city's black entertainers in the 1940s and 50s. Nia Wong tells us how
Film me,
segregation
a little bit.
created
You
a
wanna be on
refuge
TV
while
again?
carving out a place in
Yes.
history. Tucked away in the historic West Side is a humble home which brings some of the biggest musical acts who were welcome to stay among the bright lights of the Strip. The 50s attracted big names, both black and white, to the Strip, transforming the times to an age of extravagance, an era not too long ago.
Blacks were not allowed to gamble in the casino. Blacks could not stay on what we now lovingly call the Strip. Whether you were headlining or not, that was the rules that prevailed.
And not even if you were the legendary, renowned jazz singer Sammy Davis Jr. After his shows, Sammy would be shown the back door and make his way to the other side of town.
We stayed on the west side of Vegas.
Here, nestled on the corner of F Street and West Adams, is the place where Sammy and other African Americans would experience a reminder, yet reprieve from segregation. It was a entertainer's place to just kind of unwind and just do what they loved, but without the expectation of a show. Ashanti McGee is the president of Harrison House. In the mid-21st century, this was one of several boarding houses in West Las Vegas where black people were allowed to rest their heads for the night. If you were traveling, if you needed a place to stay, if you were performing or just, you know, just trying to do your job, it was essential to be able to find a place that would accept you, really. Since the 1940s, McGee says black businessmen, travelers, couples seeking divorces, and other famous artists have graced the halls of Harrison House. There was a story that I had read about a woman who remembers that as a child, she, as well as a few other children, would see Nat King Cole at the porch in front of the house, you know, just kind of minding his own business, and eventually the children would come up to him and talk to him, and they would actually show him their report cards and tell them how they were doing in school, and so he would always congratulate them. And so you definitely saw a side of this entertainer, you know, just being a person and being so involved with the community.
How old, please?
No matter what race you were, everyone was welcome at the Harrison House. Even a wily group of famous friends who would visit Davis here and eventually pressure the Sands Casino into allowing African Americans to stay and work in the now defunct hotel. An event part of a chain reaction eventually leading to the desegregation of the Strip.
I saw it do this thanks to good people within the community.
Nia Wong, 8 News Now.
And tours of the Harrison House are free to the public Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
You can check out all of our Black History Month stories online at LasVegasNow.com. Just search for Hidden History.
And still at
Good, yeah.
It is Black History Month, and a link to Las Vegas' African American hidden history is on the front.
Okay, so she talked about an event leading to a chain reaction that brought down segregation, but it wasn't until 1960, March 26, when the NAACP threatened to march on the Las Vegas Strip and shut it down if they didn't allow accommodations to blacks in Las Vegas. And so that event is commemorated in what's called the Moulin Rouge Agreement. So March 26th, we make it our business to celebrate that day every day for it to be the end of segregation and equal justice in Las Vegas.
Wow.
So the mayors proclaimed March 26th Moulin Rouge Agreement Day, a day of reconciliation and healing. So that's what we do.
I like that.
All right. So now I can just take you on through and show you the rest of the house.
Okay.
So again, this is the living room. So this is the dining room. Now you notice outside there was a fireplace, right?
Yeah.
But we can't figure out why, because there's no evidence of a fireplace inside.
Yeah.
So if you can explain that mystery, that would be fine.
Fireplace, maybe in the winter time it was cold or something.
Yeah, but there's no place to put the fire.
There's no
the
fireplace.
Fire. Okay.
But there's a fireplace.
There's a chimney.
But
no fireplace.
No fireplace. So that's the mystery of Harrison House. So one day we're going to go through that wall and figure out if something's buried between the wall and the fireplace.
Yes.
There's got to be something there.
Now, what about this writing? When was that written?
This was just written recently.
Oh, okay.
Because we were doing fundraisers, we were trying to get people to come into the house, and so many people said, why on earth would you go into that godforsaken neighborhood and buy that horrible house? Who's going to ever come there? And I said, are you kidding? Everybody's going to come. So for the first 3 years, everybody thought I was absolutely crazy until the tour buses started showing up.
Oh, wow. Do you have a lot of visitors? How many visitors do you get per month or week?
In the summer, we get every day. One, two people, sometimes a busload.
Really?
But we only started doing the tours last year.
Oh, okay.
So now, slowly, we're starting to advertise that we have tours because we have to have knowledgeable guides that understand the history and also what we have to do to get to the future. And that's not so easy because a lot of black people still have a lot of resentment. And a lot of white people are pulling back and saying, it's not me, it's not my problem, I didn't have anything to do with it, I'm not a racist, I don't know why I have to even think about this, can you guys please just shut up about it? It didn't have anything to do with me, I wasn't even alive during that time. So we have to educate some people to let them understand that they've inherited some things from their ancestors that need to be dealt with. And so because their skin is white, they have a collective responsibility to at least admit that something happened.
Yeah.
They can't pretend like nothing happened, and that they have to do some what do you call it? You have to admit that you've done wrong, and then you have to ask for forgiveness. And even if it wasn't you, you could say, well, my ancestors did something really horrible, and I'd like to apologize on behalf of them so that we can move forward as brothers and sisters. That's what we're hoping happens. People have to first admit. And then, so there's a lot that has to go on both sides here. Okay.
Do you have a lot of Asian visitors?
Yes.
You do?
A lot of Asian visitors, yes. And the biggest supporters of the Asians, because they're the ones who see the conflict from outside.
Yeah.
And they're the ones, I think, who hurt the most by how we treat them.
That's interesting.
So they told us, America, you got to get it together. We're going to put our money out.
Oh, very good. There's a lot of money there.
Because Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States. But Las Vegas is the world's capital. And so the rest of the world expects Las Vegas to act accordingly, correct? So they want us to get this one right.
Was this the original kitchen?
This was the original kitchen. And as you can see, there's nothing original left here.
Right.
So we're coming back now to put in some commercial facilities so that we can actually serve you food when you come.
That's what we have in the North House. Like this, we have all sorts of this, yeah? We have some? We had? Oh, we gave it away. Yeah.
That's probably
in
something
Vegas.
very precious.
Yeah.
Okay, so then come this way and I can show you
So,
this is the original one-bedroom suite of the house.
Then it's Fernando here.
Yes.
Okay.
So this room
So, Jerry,
a
little bit you can take over.
walk-in closet, which now is full of clothes. But for 1942 or 1933, whatever it was, this would have been a huge room, right? And then it had its own private bath, which I'm probably going to open this up. And you can see that even though Sammy Davis and those guys lived here, in the 1940s, this would have been considered a very spacious and an upscale bathroom. So we're bringing it back to make it work, and then at some point we'll go through a complete restoration.
And they built it so that it comes similar to the historical look.
Okay.
That's
instead of just fixing it.
Right now they're just fixing it so that it works.
Because they didn't have that bathtub.
Because we have to make money first, and then we can go through the meticulous restoration. Yeah.
Okay.
But now we have to get the rooms rented at least sometime so that the house can pay for itself. Because it has to sustain itself.
Okay, it has to be fixed here.
If we have the
Like I say,
resources now, we do it right in the first place.
I need Fernando.
We're getting it.
At least you have to still put in all the
So,
electricity
I need Fernando
before
here.
you can do anything. So
I wish we didn't have to come back with this tub. I would love a tub that's on crow's feet.
yeah.
But the one I saw weighed 400 pounds and was made out of, I think, stone or some kind of iron.
The iron.
And they told me I had to get a crane to bring it in. So we didn't have
the floors and everything.
Not going to hold it.
Wow.
But we're told that this room had white marble tile.
Really?
Persian rugs. So to bring it to how Miss Harrison had it, it's going to take more than just our little...
So this could have been... So this was the big suite.
This was the suite, so we call this the Sammy suite.
So this was like where if Sammy stayed, he stayed in this room.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. So don't go in my room. That's my room.
That's my room. But of course, you know, if he wasn't here, then...
Then it was somebody else's.
Yeah. And so people are starting to bring us things. Like a lady came and brought us this bed.
Yeah,
and
she said, an oldie.
This is what the beds look like then.
Oh God, this is a real one. This is no fakey.
Right. So people are bringing us things, and we have
Once
to learn.
they know more about
and we have to learn more too, because I'm not an architect, and I didn't even know I would be in this kind of business.
Wow.
So. Okay, so now we can go out this door.
Okay.
And we can see some of the other things.
Is this like a connecting room to another room?
You'll see them.
Okay.
So this was the back door of the original house. We're stepping out on the back porch of the original house. Okay, so if you had come to Las Vegas in 1942,
good heavens,
this would have been the back porch.
And this was as wide?
No, this was the whole back porch. So she built these 3 rooms on the back porch. So everything here's on the back porch. So that room.
Yeah, but still, if you were a little bit heavier of today, then you wouldn't be fitting here.
And we couldn't get any furniture through there.
So these were all bedrooms that she rented out. And so what happens was the people would come into the house this way to rent the house. Peephole to see if you can get in, right? And so each one of the rooms here had its own separate back door. So we also think the house served as a brothel. There was some of that going on too.
That makes it very interesting. I want the stories of that one.
Well, the house
that was my room for January when I come to visit. I go to the other one for the fall, and then I got one for summer. So that's interesting that they had the doors. You came in, but you left a different.
You left a different way.
That's why I need the light, you know. That's why. I need that.
How it looks from outside now.
It's been 3 years for me, but you know, I haven't spent as much time dedicated to this project because it's 16 projects. The Moulin Rouge takes up so much time. And people say, gosh, that lady's been living over in the house for 4 years. She's not doing anything, but all my effort and energy is right over there.
Okay, Jerry, you can take over now.
So what are they doing at the moment?
About lights, you know, always careful.
Oh no.
With lights.
And we have, you know, people living here. So I'll let you peek back, but we won't go all the way back to the cottage. You'll see how much stuff is here. So back here is one of the cottages.
Oh, okay.
So we call this the Pearl Bailey Cottage.
Oh, nice.
And that's where I live now. So if I took you in, you'd never speak to me again.
Okay, so that's Pearl Bailey.
But that's where, because Pearl Bailey had a family. So families will live in the house, and the single people live inside.
Oh, I see.
But the people with families will
And
have.
she as well as Sammy Davis were staying here for months performing.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Oh, okay.
So this is we call it the Pearl Bailey Cottage.
So next to that cottage, is there another?
There were two other houses. One of them we don't own, and one burned down.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Okay. So that's okay. So now we can come on back around.
And this really would be great to be able to restore it.
We're going to walk around and then come back in front of you.
Yeah.
And then this is the difference putting in a new window.
Yeah, because there was no window when we came. Okay, so you see this wonderful fireplace, and we don't know what it serves.
Oh, that's Jerry.
Decoration. Totally
but
decoration.
You know the history of fireplaces in America. If you had a fireplace at that time, you
really kept the house warm.
Well, you were upscale people. If you had a fireplace, it tells how prominent you were by your fireplace.
So then, could it have been that somebody put a fireplace and that you ain't allowed to have it?
No, I think when the house was moved, they just didn't put the fireplace back. They just set it on the side of the house, but they didn't.
Now,
I don't know.
These are the original railings?
Yeah. Sorry. They didn't have bars on their homes in the 40s. That came around in the 70s and 80s when people started putting themselves in.
Is there any place that has some actual photographs of